Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit. Text 1. Sutta Uvacha Athate Samparittanam Swanamuttakamichatam Tatum Sa Krishna Gangayam Purishkrityaya Yusriyaha.
Hare Krishna. Sutta Goswami said, thereafter the Pandavas, desiring to deliver water to the dead relatives who had desired it, went to the Ganges with Draupadi. The ladies walked in front.
Text 2. Te niniyodakam sarve vilapya cha vrisham punaha aplutaha ripadapcha rajaputta sarijala.
Having lamented over them and sufficiently offered Ganges water, they bathed in the Ganges, whose water is sanctified due to being mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord.
Text 3. Tatra sinam guru patim tritashram sahunojam Gandharim putra sokartam pritham krishnam jamadavaha.
There sat the king of the Kurus, Maharaja Yudhishthira, along with his younger brothers and Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, and Draupadi, all overwhelmed with grief. Lord Krishna was also there.
Text 4. Santvahyam asamanibhir hatta bandhu sucharvitan bhuteshu kalasya gatim darsayanna pratikriyam.
Citing the stringent laws of the Almighty and their reaction upon living beings, Lord Krishna and the Munis began to pacify those who were shocked and affected.
Text 5. Sadyahitva satro swam rajyam kitavedhitam gatayitva sato rajnaha kachchaspasha shatayashaha.
The clever Duryodhana and his party cunningly usurped the kingdom of Yudhishthira, who had no enemy. By the grace of the Lord, unscrupulous kings who joined the Duryodhanas were killed by him. Others also died, their duration of life having decreased for their rough handling of the hair of Queen Draupadi.
Text 6. Yajayitva swamedastam tribiruttama kalpakai tatyasa pavanam dikshu satamanyorivattanot.
Lord Sri Krishna caused 3 well-performed Ashwamedha Yaganas, horse sacrifices, to be conducted by Maharaja Yudhishthira, and thus caused his virtuous fame to be glorified in all directions, like that of Indra, who had performed 100 such sacrifices.
Text 7. Amantriya panduputramscha Sainyayodhavasamyitaha Dvaipayantadibhiraha Pujita pratipujitaha.
Lord Sri Krishna then prepared for his departure. He invited the sons of Pandu, after having been worshipped by the Brahmanas, headed by Srila Vasudeva. The Lord also reciprocated greetings.
Text 8. Gantum kritamatir brahma dvarakam ratham ashtitaha uplebe vidavantim uttaram vayavivalam.
As soon as he seated himself on the chariot to start for Dwarka, he saw Uttara hurrying toward him in fear.
Text 9. Uttara Vacha Pahi Pahi Mahayogi Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Tvad Abhayam Pashye Yatra Mrityu Parashparam.
Uttara said, O Lord of Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality.
Text 10. Abhidravati mam isha sarastapta yaso vipu kamam dahattu mam natha mame garbo nipatyatam.
O my Lord, you are all powerful. A fiery iron arrow is coming towards me fast. My Lord, let it burn me personally, if you are so desire. But please do not let it burn and abort my embryo. Please do me this favor, my Lord.
Text 11. Sutta uvacha upadraya vachastasya Bhagavan bhaktavatsalaha apandavam idam kartum drona ashtram abudhayata.
Suta Goswami said, having patiently heard her words, Lord Krishna, who is always very affectionate to his devotees, would at once understand that Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya, had thrown the Brahmastra to finish the last life in the Pandavas family.
Text 12. Tahi eva munisheshta Pandava panchasayakan Atmano vimukhan diptan Alakshyastrani upadatuha.
O foremost among the great thinkers, Munis, Sanuka, seeing the glaring Brahmastra proceeding towards them, the Pandavas took up their 5 respective weapons.
Text 13. Vyasanam vikshya tattesham Ananya visayatmanam Sudarshanena swastrena Swanam raksham vyahad vipuha.
The Almighty Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, having observed that a great danger was befalling his unalloyed devotees, who were fully surrendered soul, at once took up his Sudarshan disc to protect them.
Text 14. Antasta sarvabhutanam Atmayogeshwaro hariha Swamayaya vranodgarbham Veratya kurutantave.
The Lord of Supreme Mysticism, Sri Krishna, resides within everyone's heart as the Paramatma. As such, just to protect the progeny of the Kuru dynasty, he covered the embryo of Uttara by his personal energy.
Text 15. Yadyapi astram brahmasiras Tva amogam cha pratrikriyam Vaishnavam teja asatya Sama Samasamyad prikutvaha.
O Sanuka, although the supreme Brahmastra weapon released by Ashwatthama was irresistible, and without check of counteraction, it was neutralized and foiled when confronted by the strength of Vishnu, Lord Krishna.
Text 16. Mamamastahayatad ascharyam sarvascharyamayé chitai ya idam maya devya shrajati avati hanti ajaha.
O Brahmanas, do not think this is to be especially wonderful in the activities of the mysterious and infallible personality of Godhead. By his own transcendental energy, he maintains and annihilates all material things, although he himself is unborn.
Text 17. Brahma Tejo Vinirmukte Atmaje Saha Krishnaye Prayana Mukham Krishnam Idam Aha Prathasati.
Thus, saved from the radiation of the Brahmastra, Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her 5 sons, and Draupadi addressed to Lord Krishna as he started for home.
Text 18. Kunti Uvacha Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alakshyam Sarvabhutanam Antarbahiravashtitam. Hare Krishna.
Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Hare Krishna, please forgive me for any mistake.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for wonderful recitations. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, verse number 18. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye. Shvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridiyantastahya Bhadrani Vidunoti Shvahirsatam. Nashtaprayasu Bhatresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Kunti Uvacha Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrte Param Alakshayam Sarva Bhutanam Antarbahir Avasthitam. Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakate Param Alakshayam Sarva Bhutanam Antarbahir Avasthitam. Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakate Param Alakshayam Sarva Bhutanam Antarbahir Avasthitam. Synonyms. Kunti Uvacha, Srimati Kunti said, Namasye, let me bow down. Purusham, the Supreme Person. Tva, you, Adyam, the original. Ishwaram, the controller, Prakriti of the material cosmos. Param, beyond. Alakshayam, the invisible. Sarva, all. Bhutanam, of living beings. Antaha, within. Vahi, without. Avasthitam, existing. Translation. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you, because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimati Kunti Devi was quite aware that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, although he was playing the part of a nephew. Such an enlightened lady could not commit a mistake by offering obeisances unto her nephew. Therefore, she addressed him as the original Purusha beyond the material cosmos. Although all living entities are also transcendental, they are neither original nor infallible. Living entities are apt to fall down under the clutches of material nature, but the Lord is never like that. In Vedas, therefore, he is described as the chief among all living entities, Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Then again, he is addressed as Ishvara or the controller. Living entities as the demigods like Chandra and Surya are also to some extent Ishvara, but none of them is the supreme Ishvara or the ultimate controller. He is Parameshwara or the super soul, Parameshwar. He is both within and without. Although he was present before Srimati Kunti as a nephew, he was also within her and everyone else. In Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the Lord says, I am situated in everyone's heart, and only due to my one remembers, forgets, and is cognizant, etc. Through all the Vedas, I am to be known, because I am the compiler of the Vedas, and I am the teacher of the Vedanta. Queen Kunti affirms that the Lord, although both within and without, all living beings still invisible. The Lord is, so to speak, a puzzle for the common man. Queen Kunti experienced personally that Lord Krishna was present before her, yet he entered within the womb of Uttara to save her embryo from the attack of Asatthama's Brahmastra. Kunti herself was puzzled about whether Sri Krishna is all-pervasive or localized. In fact, he is both, but he reserved the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered souls. This checking curtain is called Maya, energy of the Supreme Lord, and it controls the limited vision of the rebellious soul, which is explained as follows. Om Jnanam Timidindasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Eham Shri Guru Shri Utapad Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Cha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Kunti Vacha, Namasye Purusham Tvadyam, Ishwaram Prakate Param, Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam, Antarbahiravastitam. So this chapter is entitled Prayers of Queen Kunti. And this is the first verse that Mother Kunti has spoken. And this incident is happening after when Aswathama has released Brahmastra to annihilate the last seed of Pandavas in the womb of Uttara in the form of Parikshit Maharaj. And Lord Krishna, being present in the heart of all living entities, just descended from the heart of Uttara and protected Parikshit Maharaj from all the heat that was generated by this invincible weapon. And he thus protected Parikshit. And this is what Mother Kunti is witnessing. We have to also see Mata Kunti, she has single-handedly, as a single parent, raised all her 5 children, the Pandavas, the son of Pandus. After Pandu left his body with Madri in the forest, and Kunti came back, and she has gone through everything possible that can happen with a woman who has no husband, unprotected, attacked by her own own kinsmen, own family members in various ways. She was in a such a precarious situation. Even knowing that these are my enemies, she couldn't say it to anyone. She just knew it and just couldn't do much about it. Even when they were forced to Lakagre to be burned alive, they had to still keep the policy that they cannot reveal that they know about it. Because if it all comes in open, then this Duryodhan can go to any extent. At the moment, he was doing everything from behind. But if it all comes in open, then he could just attack them openly. So this way we understand that how Kunti Devi was very vulnerable all the time.
Oh, Mum, you can watch it in there if you want, in the TV.
So there is
Or put YouTube on.
just mute them. So we see many calamities have come in her life. And just now what she witnessed was the worst calamity of her life. Imagine an innocent child being attacked. Nobody can do anything about it. Nobody can do anything. Her sons were very powerful. Arjun specifically, he could counteract one, Brahmastra, but this was targeted in the womb, subtle. Nobody knew what's happening. When Uttara asked, then Krishna revealed that this is what is happening. So even the knowledge of this weapon being released was not there, although it was being experienced. So we can see how must Kunti feel at that point in time. And not only that, prior to this, Kunti has experienced Krishna's power, Krishna's omnipresence in the battle of Kurukshetra. She has experienced Krishna in every single moment of her life. She is described to be the success potency of Krishna. That's one line Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport, but we don't know more about it. But the fact that she is a potency of Krishna and she's worshipping Krishna in her heart all the time. Now, for the first time, Srimad Bhagavatam is capturing, Sukadeva Goswami is capturing her heart, her mood. And Srila Prabhupada has written a chapter, a book on this particular chapter. Prayers of Mother Kunti. So he published this book. So such important prayers are being mentioned and given here. It is said that in the heart of devotees, in the heart of sadhus, in the heart of pure devotees, Vedas are living in their heart. When they speak, they're speaking Vedic knowledge by default, because they have taken darshan of the truth, and truth is only one. And therefore, whoever seen the truth or understood the truth, they will speak the same language. Hence, we can see this Mother Kunti is praying, Isharam Prakatim Param, Prakatehe Param. She's saying, you are the original personality of Godhead, Ishwaram. Ishwaram, you are the controller, you are the original, Adyam, Swa Adyam. You are the original personality of Godhead. You are controller, Ishwaram, of the material cosmos. Alakshayam, you are invisible. Nobody can see you. And this fact that Krishna demonstrated that by protecting Parikshit, nobody else could see it. Nobody. And he's present in the heart of all living beings. Even though he's present in the heart of all living beings, he cannot be seen. This is mystic power, opulence of Krishna. Antar Bahir Avastitam. You're present within, and you're also present which is not within. Anything beyond within is without. You're present everywhere. That is what she is praying here. And now we see the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is imploring the same things. And Mother Kunti is saying the same thing. So the Shastra is actually revealed from the heart of Mother Kunti in these prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadasya Yato Anvayadidras Chartheshu Abhignah Swarat. So Here we can see how Krishna is described as the cause of all causes. Tene brahmahridiye adi kaviye muhyanti yat surya. So if you read the meanings of this verse, it is said, Lord Brahma, I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because Vyasadeva is saying, I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he's the absolute truth and cause of all causes, primeval cause of all causes. What? Of creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universe. He's directly, indirectly conscious of all manifestation and is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. Now, this fact, he is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. This is spoken in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has spoken himself. Let me see the verse. Krishna has given a beautiful analogy. He's given a beautiful analogy and he's spoken this verse. Where he compares himself to be the thread behind the pulse. And he says that I am that thread which nobody can see. Yeah, here. Matta parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. Matta parantaram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. Mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani gan iva. Sutre mani gan iva. On a thread, sutra. Mani gan. These are the pearls. Just like the pearls are strung on a thread, just like pearls are strung on a thread, everything rests upon me. And there, Krishna is saying this. Here, Vyasadeva is saying the same thing. He's saying that he's directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestation because he's present everywhere. Just like threads, pearls are strung on a thread. The thread is invisible. Mother Kunti is saying you're invisible. Just like thread is there, thread is invisible. Similarly, you are invisible. Here. Yet you are invisible to all. How amazing is that? So this is the heart of devotees. And in the heart of devotees is all the knowledge is seated. Krishna is saying, Prabhupada has quoted this verse, Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sannavishto Mata Smriti Dhyanam Apohanam Chaha. Vedescha Sarve Mahaveva Vedyo Vedantikrit Ved Videva Cha Aham. So Krishna is saying that it's I who is giving remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Now, Srila Prabhupada is saying that Kunti, Krishna is her nephew, but still Kunti is praying to Krishna. She can't do a big mistake like this if Krishna was just a nephew. But Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, she's praying to Krishna. And she's saying that, oh my Lord, all the remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness, everything is coming from you. You are present in everything. And Krishna is also saying the same thing here, that with all the Vedas, I have to be known. So we see there's a complete synchronization in all the Shastras. What devotees are saying, what Vyasadeva is saying, and what devotees is quoting in the Bhagavatam, they are saying, their prayers, as well as what Krishna himself is saying. They're all saying one thing. Hence, this is eternal truth, because eternal truth can be described by that one way. So this is one of the facts that we can say for sure. And many Shastras are written at different point in time. Still, they're saying the same thing, that Krishna is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. So this is the beauty of devotees. So if we go further into some of the verses of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, this verse is also very beautiful, where Krishna is talking about himself. He's saying, Etad yonina bhutani sarvaniti upadharaya aham krishnasya jagataha prabhava pralasatata. All created beings have their source in these two natures. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both the origin and dissolution. Now, this is the same verse that Mother Kunti is also saying this here. She's saying, you are existing both within and without everything. And Krishna is saying the same thing here. So I'm all created beings have their source in two natures. Of all that is material and that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I have both the origin and dissolution. So Krishna is everywhere. Krishna is conscious of everything. Krishna is omnipresent. Krishna is present everywhere. But Krishna cannot be seen by those who do not have devotional attitude, who do not want to see spiritual, who do not want to believe in God. They can never see Krishna. They can come and challenge, but they will never be able to see the thread behind the pearls. They are witnessing the cosmos. They're witnessing that this entire world is working in a very systematic, scientific way. The sun is rising. There are thousands and thousands and millions of stars in the sky. They are all hanging, like floating in the sky. How they are floating, they have no idea about this. There's an analogy given that just like a king is there, and his subjects, his departments, there are people who are serving the king's orders. In this way, king is constantly he's controlling the kingdom. He's controlling the kingdom. Similarly, this is the analogy Srila Prabhupada has given in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, where Krishna says, by me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I'm not in them. So, Srila Prabhupada says here, in this analogy he's giving, he's saying just like different government departments are nothing but the energies of the king. Each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestation that we see and everything that exists, both in this material world and in the spiritual world, are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies, and as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vistabhyam idam Krishnam. He is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies. This is so powerful. So, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned here that he can only be perceived by the process of devotional service. Atah Shri Krishna Amadi Nabhavid Gayam Indriya Sevan Mukhe Jivadda Swam Eva Spurat Adaha. So it is only by singing the glories of Krishna by the tongue, process will start to understand that who Krishna is. It's quoted this was Premanjana Bhakti, Premanjana Charit Bhakti Vilochanena, Santa Sadaiva Hridesha Vilokayanti. You can perceive Supreme Personality of Godhead if you have love in your eyes, just like Mother Kunti has that love for Krishna. And when we develop that love or transcendental loving attitudes towards Krishna, then Krishna himself says that I'll come, I will reveal myself. Otherwise, he would be avyakta. He cannot be revealed. He is although present everywhere, but he cannot be revealed to anybody. That is the mystic opulence of Krishna. So in this respect, there is a conversation between Narad Muni and Lord Brahma. So Narad Muni was very, very happy, or rather, he was very conclusive in his opinion and conclusion that Lord Brahma is factually the God, and he says to Lord Brahma, my dear father, all this is known to you scientifically because whatever's created in the past, created in the future, or being created at present is within your grip, just like a walnut. Everything is within this universe is in your grip. So then he asked this question, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? Under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energy? Just like the spider easily creates the network of its cobweb and manifests its power of creation without being defeated by others. So also, by employment, your self-sufficient energy, you create without any other's help, etc. So he's asking these questions, and Lord Brahma immediately he responded to Narad Dev and says, whatever you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities. Lord Brahma said, I am inspired to see into the prowess of Almighty Personality of Godhead. Then he says this particular line, which is quite interesting and becomes the basis of the conclusion of the Shastras. He says, I create after the Lord's creation by his personal effulgence known as Brahman Jyoti. Just as when the sun manifests his fire, the moon, the firmament, the influential planets, and the twinkling stars manifest their brightness. So this is the analogy given, that when you see all this cosmic manifestation, Lord Brahma is understood to be the creator. He creates, because prior to him, nobody was there. Mahavishnu was there from his Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. From his navel, Lord Brahma comes and he prays, he does tapa. And then ultimately the knowledge is revealed in his heart, and then he starts to create. But he's saying, I am not the original creator, I am the secondary creator. And just like sun's light is original light, and every other thing is reflecting sun's light. And so the moons, the stars, and everything is reflecting sun's light. So they are not the original carrier of the sunlight. They are not the original producer of the sunlight. They're simply reflecting the sunlight. Similarly, Krishna is saying, Brahmaji is saying, I am receiving this material elements. I'm receiving it from Krishna. I'm receiving everything from Krishna. Just like in a household kitchen, the lady or the men of the house, they put all the ingredients together. And then with the help of those ingredients, they start to make nice bhoga. Now, this prasadam is, you can say that the housewife or houseman has created, but they are the secondary creators, because there was already rice, which was there. There was spices, there was ghee, there was fire. All the material ingredients were already there. But when they were mixed and put in a certain ratio and proportions, they started to become food that one is able to eat, edible. Nice, delicious preparations of all kinds can be made from ghee and all the raw ingredients. If you just see besan on its own is just powder, nobody can consume it. People, living beings like us, animals can. But the moment they mix it with water and they make small balls, small balls, and then they mix it, they fry it in the ghee and put it in the sugar syrup, and then it is offered to the Lord, bundi, and then you have that. It has phenomenal taste. And you can take any such nice dish, and if you see the ingredients which are raw, they're not as great. But when they are done, they're really amazing. Similarly, Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, has given all the material elements, earth, fire, water, air, ether, and so many more. And the secondary creator, Lord Brahma, is just a secondary creator, taking these ingredients and building a universe. Therefore, Krishna is the cause of all causes. Therefore, Krishna is also very amazing, because as when Lord Brahma is creating living entities, Krishna is then entering into the hearts of every living entity as Chirodakshaya Vishnu, and being present in the hearts in four-armed Vishnu form. So Krishna is present in the form of Mahavishnu. When the universal creation is going to take place, then this Mahavishnu's body is producing this innumerable universes in the form of bubble. And when Mahavishnu is glancing over the material nature of Prakriti or Mahatattva, agitating the bubbles or the energy within these bubbles, then the then he's further expanding himself into these universes as Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And in that Garbhak ocean, then Lord Brahma is appearing. And then that Lord Brahma is creating a lot of living entities. And then the same Garbhodak Vishnu is entering into living entities as Chirodakshay Vishnu, which is in our hearts, primeval, personality of Godhead, all pervading aspect of the personality of Godhead, which is realized by the yogis, who is witnessing every single event, every single emotion, every single feeling of all the living entities. So he's present within and he's present without. And that is what Mother Kunti is saying, that Mother Kunti's heart also, in her heart also Krishna is present. In Uttara's heart, Krishna was present. In Parikshit's heart, Krishna is present. And from Uttara's heart, Krishna decided to descend into Parikshit's heart. This was witnessed by Mother Kunti. And that made her say this particular verse. This particular verse is coming from her heart. He's saying, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality, unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. You are unaffected by the material qualities. There's a word which is used to describe this, Purusham Adyam, Alakshayam. They are unaffected by the material qualities. Prakate Param, beyond the material cosmos. So we can see that how beautifully our Shastras are describing this personality of Godhead, whose potency is actually and factually running the entire cosmos. And the living entities are illusioned by the power of his illusory energy, and that illusory energy keeps people illusioned, just like in the first verse of Bhagavatam it is said, just like one sees the fire in the water, or just like one sees the water on the land, mirage. Similarly, they're illusioned, they're speculating, they're trying to understand, they're putting their logics behind the existence and cosmos. But until they have the thread of devotion in their heart, they will not be able to see Krishna. Premanjana Bhakti, that sloka, Santa Sada Pradeshu Vilokayanti. So those devotees who have anjan of prem in their eyes, they can always see Krishna in their hearts, just like Mother Kunti is doing. I'll stop this conversation here. If there is any comment or any question, we can take that.
Hare Krishna, Manu Prabhu. Today I was so absorbed listening to you. It's just, I found it absolutely wonderful. You took so much time, and you know how to connect and present these, the verse to us, and Kunti's understanding of purest devotee. Nobody can, comment like that beyond anything. But that's why he wrote this Kunti's prayer separately in a book form. No other writer of any scripture has written about Queen Kunti a separate book like that. So the whole thing, and you also connected everything so nicely. I really appreciate the way you have prepared yourself and to give us this wonderful knowledge of Krishna. And then also when you have made a very practical explanation, like when Narad Muni was asking Brahma he was, he was very amazed, and how Brahma could, create that. But Brahma then said, it's not me, it's Lord. Then he put it into the kitchen, all these things we make, but without the ingredients, it's not possible. It's not possible. So the whole thing, you blend it so nicely. I got a lot out of it, and I really I'm really grateful to you the way you have made this a wonderful, wonderful lesson. Thank you so much. It's really, because I was reciting some of the verses today and of this chapter, and I was also explaining to one of my cousin about this whole Bhagavatam, and she also appreciated what I was saying about Queen Kunti. And she was so amazed. She was jumping and said, can you please read this to me again and again? I said, yes, please read Bhagavatam, listen to Srila Prabhupada. And it's just amazing, amazing knowledge we can have. We're so fortunate. We're so fortunate. And I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Panchali here. Is it possible to ask a very quick question?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Prabhuji, thank you very much for the wonderful class. So I have a question around towards the end of the class when you were talking about how Garbhodaksha Vishnu, how Mahavishnu inhales and exhales, and then when he exhales, the millions of universes are created, and then he expands himself into Garbhodaksha and goes into each of those universes. Prabhuji, what is the difference between Mahatattva and the material energy? So where does all of that happen? What does it mean?
So Mahatattva is the word used before Lord Vishnu or Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Before the Mahavishnu is looking at the Prakriti and agitating the material energy. So prior to that, it's a Mahatattva. And this Mahatattva, once becomes agitated, it becomes Prakriti, or the material nature, where everybody else start to live. And it's like, I don't know if this is the analogy I can give, but it's not I've heard from Shastra, but it's coming to my mind. Let's say there's concrete and bricks, and somehow if they're aligned, and it becomes a home, a house, not a home, a house. The bricks are erected in a certain way, and it can give you protection, and it can host people inside. Similarly, this Mahatattva, unless there's a glance of Krishna or Mahavishnu, unless that glance is actually Lord Shiva. That glance of, this is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, that when Lord Vishnu is looking at Mahatattva, there's a glance, and that glance is Mahatattva. So then the Prakriti, which is Mother Durga, that becomes agitated, and then it starts to create, you see. So this is the analogy, and this is my limited understanding on this. So these are technical terms which is used prior to the process of creation, Mahatattva.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My humble obeisance unto you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. There is a term called Pradhan as well, isn't it? Pradhan.
Oh,
and
yes. Pradhan. So I think please, thank you for correcting me, Rupamati. Pradhan is something before the glance, and Mahatattva is something after the glance.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Is the Mahatattva because Tattva is all the elements, is the Mahatattva all the elements all combined, unmanifested?
Unmanifested, that's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, the class was wonderful, very, 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 very deep, very, all the devotees, I'm sure all the devotees will find elation, when they hear about Krishna so deeply. It's very touching, very nice, very wonderful. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare. Okay. So if there are no more comments or questions, we can close our discussion for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yogeshcha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful class. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the very wonderful.